Have you ever walked into a room and felt completely invisible? You speak, but no one listens. You work hard, but no one seems to notice. You try to contribute, but somehow you're overlooked. Not because you're unqualified or unworthy, but because something about you doesn't register, doesn't land, and the most frustrating part? You don't know what you're doing wrong. According to behavioral researcher Vanessa Van Edwards, the answer isn't just in what you say. It's in the subtle cues you unconsciously send. It's in your charisma. Van Edwards explains that charisma isn't just some magical trait you're born with. It's not reserved for celebrities or natural extroverts. It's a learnable skill, a language made up of micro-signals, body posture, tone of voice, and emotional presence. And whether you realize it or not, you're speaking this language all the time. She calls it the secret language of cues. Your body, your face, your voice, these things speak before your words ever do. And what they say determines whether people trust you, admire you, or even want to hear what you have to say. So what is charisma, really? Van Edwards breaks it down into two core dimensions: warmth and competence. Warmth is what makes people feel safe around you. It's your ability to make others feel seen and emotionally understood. Think: open gestures, genuine smiles, active listening, relaxed energy. Competence is what earns people's respect. It's your ability to project that you're capable, knowledgeable, and self-assured. Think: steady posture, direct speech, clear eye contact, firm tone. Most people unknowingly lean too far in one direction. They're either overly warm, charming but not taken seriously, or overly competent, respected but emotionally distant. Charisma is the rare, powerful fusion of both. Van Edwards puts it this way: warmth earns trust. Confidence earns respect. Together, they create charisma. When you only have one, you're imbalanced. People might like you but not listen to you, or they might respect you but feel too intimidated to open up. Only when you master both, when your presence says "I care" and "I can," do people start to truly see you. Let's make this real. Imagine you're in a job interview. You want to show you're smart. So you focus on sounding professional, knowledgeable, but your voice is flat. You don't smile. You forget to build connection. You might leave the interviewer thinking, they're competent, but do I want to work with them every day? Now imagine the opposite. You're friendly, funny, relatable, but your answers are vague. You laugh a lot, but offer no substance. People might walk away thinking, I like them, but can I really trust them with this responsibility? You see the pattern? Too much warmth, and you become forgettable. Too much competence, and you become unapproachable. Balanced charisma makes you unforgettable. One of the best examples? Keanu Reeves. Why is the internet obsessed with him? Because he embodies this perfect tension. He's wildly competent, an actor who takes his craft seriously, but also deeply warm, humble, respectful, human. He makes people feel safe and inspired. Van Edwards calls this the Big Brother effect. Someone who mentors you, lifts you, and makes you feel like you matter. But here's the hard truth. Most of us sabotage our charisma without even knowing it. We cross our arms during conversations. We look away when we speak. We talk too much, or not at all. We second-guess ourselves, shrink into silence, or try too hard to prove ourselves. And all of those subtle signals whisper one thing to the world: don't notice me. But what if you could change that? What if you could learn to project trust and authority in every room you enter? Not by faking anything, not by becoming someone else, but by becoming more of yourself, with clarity and confidence. In the next part, we'll explore how you can do exactly that, step by step, cue by cue. But for now, let me ask you this. Which one do you think you naturally project more, warmth or competence? And which one do you need to develop? Drop it in the comments and let's keep going. Now that you understand what charisma truly is, the dynamic tension between warmth and competence, it's time to ask the real question. How do you actually project both? Because here's the reality most people don't want to admit. You could be brilliant, but if you come across as cold, people won't listen. You could be kind-hearted, but if you seem unsure, people won't trust you. In every conversation, in every room, you're constantly broadcasting signals. The way you stand, the way you speak, the way you look at someone, these cues are louder than your words. And if you're not intentional about them, they might be sending the wrong message. Vanessa Van Edwards calls this the cue contest. Every interaction is a silent negotiation of presence. We're constantly reading others' cues, and they're reading ours. So let's break down the exact verbal and nonverbal cues that build charisma, and how you can start practicing them immediately. 1. Start with warmth, the trust magnet. Why warmth first? Because trust is the emotional glue of human connection, and warmth is what makes people feel safe enough to open up, listen, and care. The good news, you don't need to perform. You just need to be authentically present. Here are some of the most powerful warmth cues. A genuine smile, not just lips, your eyes, too. A real smile lights up your whole face. If you're forcing it, people will sense it. Head tilting slightly. It signals interest, softness, curiosity. It's a subconscious way of saying, I'm open. Nodding while others speak. This validates and encourages. It shows you're actively listening. Soft vocal tone. People trust voices that sound calm, warm, and grounded. If your tone is too flat or too sharp, people may feel dismissed or anxious. Maintaining relaxed eye contact. Not a stare down, not avoiding the gaze. Just soft engaged eye contact that says, you matter. And here's the real kicker. Warmth isn't about being nice. It's about being present. It's about making others feel seen without needing to prove anything. 2. Then add competence, the respect multiplier. Once trust is established through warmth, you can layer in competence. Competence cues are what make people believe you're capable, smart, and reliable. Open, upright posture. Stand tall, uncross your arms, take up space, physically and energetically. When your body says, I belong here, others believe it too. Clear, decisive speech. Ditch the filler words. Cut the apologetic tone. Say what you mean, with clarity and confidence. Intentional gestures. Use your hands when you talk, but don't flail. Purposeful gestures emphasize your points and keep people engaged. Controlled pacing. People who rush sound nervous. People who pause sound powerful. Slow down. Let your words land. Van Edwards reminds us, warmth opens the door. Competence invites people to walk through it. Number 3. The magic is in micro-expressions. Now let's talk about something most people overlook. Your face gives you away. Even if you say all the right things, if your micro-expressions contradict your words, people will always believe your face, not your mouth. Micro-expressions are tiny, involuntary facial movements that flash across your face in under a second. They reveal your true emotional state, and they're universal. A genuine smile activates the muscles around your eyes. A fake smile? Mouth only. People spot that instantly. Raised eyebrows signal curiosity or openness. Furrowed brows. Confusion, judgment, or stress. Tight lips. Emotional discomfort or withholding. And guess what? These expressions aren't just visible to others. They shape how you feel too. Smiling more doesn't just look warmer. It makes you feel warmer. Standing tall doesn't just appear confident. It signals confidence to your brain. So if you want to shift your energy, start with your face and body. They're not just tools of expression, they're tools of transformation. 4. Match words with presence. If your body and tone don't match your message, people won't trust you. Example. You say, I'm really excited to be here, but your arms are crossed, your eyes are looking down, and your voice is flat. What do people believe? Not your words. They believe your cues. Because your body speaks before you do. Research shows that up to 93% of communication is nonverbal. Only 7% is your actual words. This is why some people can say so little and still command the room. Their energy speaks louder than their sentences. 5. Calibrate to the room. Charisma isn't about being the loudest or most dramatic person. It's about reading the room and adjusting your energy accordingly. You don't act the same way at a funeral as you do at a wedding. You shouldn't communicate the same way with a client as you do with your best friend. Van Edwards emphasizes, charismatic people are like emotional chameleons, not because they're fake, but because they're deeply attuned. They don't pretend. They adapt, while staying true to themselves. So how do you apply this? Before walking into any room, ask, what energy is this space calling for? What do these people value? Warmth or competence? What would make them feel connected and impressed? If you're not sure, default to warmth. Start with trust, then earn respect, not the other way around. Because people will remember how you made them feel more than what you said. Ready to go deeper? In the next part, we'll break down the 4 levels of charisma and how to identify your current level. But first, here's your reflection question. Do you struggle more with warmth or competence? Which of these cues will you start practicing this week? Drop your answer below. So, you've learned that charisma isn't some mysterious gift reserved for celebrities or politicians. It's a learnable skill, a collection of cues, a balance between warmth and competence. But how do you know where you currently stand? Vanessa Van Edwards lays out a powerful framework called the 4 levels of charisma. It's not just a theory, it's a mirror. Let's break it down. Level 1. No charisma, the invisible presence. This is where both warmth and competence are missing. You walk into a room and no one really notices. You speak, but people seem distracted. You try to contribute, but your words don't land. You may have great ideas and you might be a kind person, but the world can't feel it. Why? Because your cues aren't transmitting it. You may avoid eye contact, slouch, speak softly, or use uncertain language. You might feel invisible, and sadly, others confirm that feeling by overlooking you. But here's the good news. This is not permanent. Charisma is a skill. If you're at level 1, it just means your signals need tuning. You are not broken. You're just muted. Level 2. High competence, low warmth, the intimidator. This is where many professionals, high achievers, and perfectionists get stuck. You know your stuff. You're smart, prepared, and articulate. But people find you cold, or distant, or hard to talk to. You command respect, but you don't invite trust. People might admire your brilliance but hesitate to ask for your help. In meetings, they nod, but they rarely open up. You might be labeled intense, too serious, or hard to read. And worst of all, you might think this is a good thing. Because in a society that rewards performance, we often overvalue competence and undervalue warmth. But charisma without warmth creates distance. People follow you, out of duty, not devotion. To move up, you need to soften your edges, not your standards, just your presence. Smile more often. Ask people how they're feeling, not just what they're doing. Let your guard down, just a little. Don't be afraid to say, I don't know, or, that's a great point. Warmth doesn't make you weak. It makes you relatable. Level 3. High warmth, low competence, the sweetheart. Now let's flip the script. You're friendly, approachable, maybe even the life of the party. People love being around you, but they don't always listen to you. They smile at your jokes. They feel good in your presence, but they hesitate to trust your judgment. Why? Because you radiate warmth, but you're not signaling certainty. Maybe you second-guess yourself. Maybe your speech is full of qualifiers. I think, I'm not sure, but maybe your posture is small, or you speak too softly. Maybe you avoid tough conversations to stay likable. In trying to be loved, you lose authority. This is a trap for many empaths, creatives, and people-pleasers. And while being well-liked feels good, it's not the same as being respected. To level up, you don't need to become arrogant. You just need to own your voice. Speak with clarity. Practice assertiveness. Take up more space, physically and verbally. Show others that your kindness is backed by capability. People won't respect you until you respect your own wisdom. Level 4. High warmth. High competence. The magnetic leader. This is the sweet spot. The level where trust and admiration collide. You walk into a room and people feel both comfortable and impressed. They want to talk to you, and they want to listen to you. This is the charisma of Keanu Reeves, of Michelle Obama, of your favorite teacher or mentor growing up. They made you feel seen and safe, while also making you feel like you were in good hands. And guess what? They weren't born that way. They built it. Through self-awareness, intentional practice, and emotional intelligence. Van Edwards says, people with high-level charisma inspire collaboration, trust, and loyalty. They are both respected and remembered. So, how do you get here? That's what we're diving into next. Your personalized charisma map. Now that you've seen the 4 levels, take a moment. Where do you honestly see yourself right now? Do people respect you but keep their distance? Do people love being around you but rarely take you seriously? Or are you struggling to get noticed at all? Be honest. There's no shame in any level. The key is clarity. Because once you know where you are, you can grow from there. Let's say you're strong in competence, but lacking warmth. Your homework. Start practicing connection cues. Eye contact, smiling, asking more personal questions, sharing a little vulnerability. If you're high in warmth but struggle with confidence, your work is to own your worth. Speak slower and lower. Prepare your thoughts in advance. Use fewer filler words. Practice confident posture. And if you're at level 1, feeling invisible, start small. 1 confident sentence a day. 1 smile at a stranger. 1 time you speak up in a meeting. It's not about perfection, it's about intention. Reflection. Question for you. Which level of charisma are you currently at? And what's 1 cue you're going to work on this week? Drop your answer in the comments. It helps you reflect, and others will learn from you too. So now you know where you stand on the charisma ladder. You understand the balance between warmth and competence, and you've seen the 4 levels in action. But theory is not enough. What matters is, how do you actually apply this in real life? How do you walk into a meeting, a date, or a party, and instantly project that magnetic presence? Let's break it down into scripts, movements, and habits. What to say? Charisma scripts. Vanessa Van Edwards gives us one of the simplest yet most powerful tools. Charisma isn't about saying more. It's about saying the right things the right way. Let's look at a few real-life examples and how to apply charismatic language. 1. You're in a job interview. Most people go in with a robotic tone, trying to sound smart. Typical: I'm a hard worker and a good team player. Charismatic: I thrive when I'm working with people who push each other to do great work. I've found that real progress happens when we bring both focus and fun into the room. What changed? You went from generic to personal. You told a story. You added warmth and vision. 2. You're pitching an idea. Typical: this is a great feature we should launch. It's innovative and will give us a competitive edge. Charismatic: imagine opening our app and seeing this feature. It's intuitive. It solves a real pain point, and it makes us stand out, not just because it's smart, but because it feels right for the user. You added storytelling. You made people feel the result. You balanced data with emotional resonance. 3. You're giving feedback. Typical: this wasn't done correctly. Charismatic: I see how much effort you put in, and I appreciate that. I think with one small tweak, this could go from good to outstanding. Want to brainstorm it together? You validated their effort, warmth, and guided them to improve. Competence: charismatic people don't dominate conversations. They guide them. They use inclusive language, ask great questions, and respond with presence. Examples of charismatic phrases: what do you think? That's a great insight. Can you tell me more? I hadn't thought of it that way, thank you. Here's what I'd love to try. What's your take on it? The goal: make others feel smart, seen, and safe. How to say it: tone, volume, and pauses. Your words matter, but how you say them matters more. Here's the science. A confident speaker uses slower pace, lower pitch, and intentional pauses. A warm speaker uses variation in tone, softer volume, and friendly emphasis. Try this out loud. Say, I'm really excited to be here, while rushing and mumbling. Now say it again, slowly, clearly, and with a smile. Which version would you believe? Vanessa Van Edwards teaches what she calls the charisma voice formula: confident tone, plus warm delivery, magnetic presence. If you speak too quickly, people sense anxiety. If your voice is monotone, they sense disinterest. If your voice is too loud, they feel tension. If your voice is too soft, they doubt your conviction. Charisma starts with vocal presence. How to move: posture, gestures, and micro-adjustments. You don't have to be a runway model or a dancer, but your body is speaking, always. Let's look at a few body cues that instantly raise or lower charisma. Confident posture: stand tall. Shoulders relaxed but open. Chin level. Feet planted shoulder width apart. This says, I belong here. Warm gestures: open palms when speaking. Occasional touch, if appropriate, like a handshake or hand on shoulder. Mirroring others subtly, leaning forward, nodding, pacing with them. This says, I'm listening, I care. Watch out for crossed arms, can signal defensiveness. Fidgeting, nervousness. Looking down, lack of confidence. Checking your phone, disinterest. Remember, the body doesn't lie. People trust what they see more than what they hear. Adapting charisma: one size doesn't fit. Here's something most charisma advice gets wrong. They act like there's only one way to be charismatic. Not true. You can be. The quiet charismatic: thoughtful, calm, grounded. The playful charismatic: energetic, humorous, spontaneous. The wise charismatic: measured, observant, steady. The passionate charismatic: intense, visionary, expressive. Your job is not to imitate someone else. It's to amplify your best traits and balance them. Don't fake a smile. Make it real. Don't force eye contact. Make it meaningful. Start from where you are. Enhance what's already there. Build charisma as a daily habit. Like muscles, charisma strengthens with repetition. Here's how to start. Charisma journal. Each night, ask, did I show warmth today? Did I show confidence? 1 cue per week. Focus on one body cue or tone cue per week. Master it before moving on. Record yourself. Practice speeches, pitches, or introductions. Watch them back. Adjust. Ask for feedback. How do I come across in meetings? Most people won't tell you unless you ask. And the most powerful daily habit? Genuinely care about people. Not to impress them, not to be liked, but because every human wants to feel seen. Charisma isn't about shining. It's about making others shine in your presence. Final thought. The real power of charisma. The most charismatic people don't walk into a room thinking, look at me. They walk in thinking, who can I lift up today? And that shift, from performance to connection, is where your transformation begins. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to be fake. You just need to be present, authentic, and balanced. That's the real secret, and it's not a trick. It's a choice.